Hey, what's up, you guys? WWE Fan 0599 here again, and today we're going to review Barbershop, The Next Cut. So, Barbershop, The Next Cut stars Ice Cube, Regina Hall, Cedric the Entertainer, Comet, and Nicki Minaj. And what this film is about, it's about when, the barbershop gang, they want to try and help out their community and their neighborhood because things and bad things have been happening in their community as of late, and they just really want to kind of take a stand on that. So they try and do a fundraiser to try and, help out their community. So, yeah. So, what I think of Barbershop, The Next Cut. I haven't seen the other two Barbershop movies. This is actually my first Barbershop film. And from the trailers, it just seemed like it was just going to be kind of just a typical comedy and just didn't look great at all, honestly. I was just like, whatever. So, what did I think of the movie? I was very surprised by this movie. I actually really enjoyed Barbershop, The Next Cut. It's actually a very enjoyable comedy. I actually really enjoyed the movie. So, it surprised me a lot, honestly. So, yeah. So let's get into my positives, and my positives are, first being the acting. The acting is actually really good in this movie. First being Ice Cube. Ice Cube was actually really good in this movie. I thought he did a very good job in the film. His character was very likable. You could understand where he's coming from and all that. And I just thought he was really enjoyable. He did a really good job in the movie. This is honestly the best I've seen him since the Jump Street movies. And he was just very enjoyable. I think he did a really good job in the film. Regina Hall, she was really enjoyable too. I thought she did a really good job in this film as well, and she was very good. Cedric the Entertainer, man, this guy steals the entire show. He just steals the entire movie, He was by far my favorite character in the entire film. And just every time this guy was on screen, he was just awesome. He was hilarious in the film. And just, like I said, every time he was on screen, he was just very enjoyable and just really great. So yeah, Cedric the Entertainer, he was by far my favorite character in the film, and I very much enjoyed him. Comet was really good in the movie as well. I thought he did a really good job in the movie as well. Now for the biggest surprise probably in this movie, or maybe of the entire year. Nicki Minaj was actually good in this movie. This is, I know, right? Surprising. Like, it's just, I couldn't even wrap my head around that. She was actually good in this movie. I thought actually her character was actually really likable. I actually really liked her in this movie. So that is a giant surprise because, one, I actually hate her as a singer, and two, she's a horrible actress. So it was very surprising that she was actually good in this movie. So yeah, she was very enjoyable. I actually enjoyed her character. And the rest of the acting's really good in this movie as well. The comedy is very good as well. I thought the comedy really worked for the most part in this movie. The comedy is very funny, really, is very good. So yeah, I thought the comedy was very good with the movie. And the movie's a lot deeper than I thought it was going to be, because they do touch on some actual issues that are happening in the real world, and they really do touch upon that in this movie, and they do a really great job with it in this movie. It never feels forced, or it never feels, oh, it has to be there. It never felt like it was forcing it down my throat. It actually felt genuine. It actually felt great, and I think they did a really great job with that. And, like I said, I appreciate the movie for going a lot deeper than I thought it was going to go. The writing's great with the movie. I actually thought the writing was really great with this movie. The directing is also really great with the film. I thought the directing was great with this movie. The pacing is really good for the most part. The pacing actually is really good, and it moves at a pretty good pace in my opinion. Now for the negatives I do have with Barbershop The Next Cut, because I do have a few negatives. First being the comedy doesn't really work. At points, there were some points where I thought it just kind of went the typical comedy route at some points, and it just didn't work for me at some certain points in the film. Comet's storyline with his wife and Nicki Minaj and stuff wasn't really, it's not bad or anything, it just wasn't that invested for the most part. It wasn't really that interesting for the most part, and I really wasn't that invested for the most part in his story, so yeah. And lastly, the movie does get a little bit boring at times. There are some slow moments. The movie is an hour and 51 minutes. I don't really think the movie should have been that long for this movie, honestly. They could have cut like 15 or 20 minutes with this movie, and you know, there were some times where I did feel like the movie was a bit slow and could have moved at a faster pace. But besides that, I really enjoyed Barbershop The Next Cut. It's actually a really enjoyable movie and definitely one of the biggest surprises of the year. So, it's time for my official grade on Barbershop The Next Cut, and my official grade on Barbershop The Next Cut is a B+. It's actually a really enjoyable movie. I personally really enjoyed Barbershop The Next Cut. It's a very enjoyable comedy, really funny, and really enjoyable. So yeah, Barbershop The Next Cut gets a B+. So, what did you guys think of Barbershop The Next Cut? Leave it in the comment section below. I'm WWE Fan 599, and we'll see you out later. Peace.